My name is David Moffitt, and I am a portfolio manager for Invest Corp International, and I manage approximately $6.5 billion here in New York for Invest Corp. Well, actually, I ran into Adam my first year of law school, and he was a year ahead of me. We've been friends for about 25 years, and I've used Adam for virtually every piece of real estate investment and or personal purchase that we've done since we've met. Well, I would say first, integrity. The firm operates with a great deal of integrity. Second, zealous representation of their clients and advocacy. And then third, they're very results driven. In the absence of achieving a favorable result, the rest doesn't really matter. So they do a great job of balancing all three. We've had a professional relationship in real estate for approximately 20 years. Represented me in one of the first purchases of a condo in the city. And I think we've done a number of both residential and commercial transactions since then, probably in excess of 10. Sure, so the most recent transaction was a sale of a beach property in Sagaponack, New York. And Adam represented us in the sale. But he also represented us in finding the right broker, structuring the transaction. There were a number of challenges in the transaction that he was able to help overcome, and represented us not only in legal fashion but as a business advisor. So we were very happy with both the outcome and the solutions-oriented approach that they brought to the table. So there have been a number of transactions, first residential purchases, so a number of properties we purchased in New York that the firm has represented us with. Also some commercial investment properties that the firm has represented us on. It was also on the board of a condo where we had some litigation. The firm represented us not only in the primary litigation but also in the appellate litigation, and that particular appeal was one that was a bit groundbreaking and set legal precedent in Manhattan for a number of different propositions of what the board's responsibility is with respect to remediating construction defects. Well, again, I think the firm has a very integrated approach, both first from a legal perspective and then from a business perspective. In the absence of achieving the business deal, the legal representation really adds no value. So I think what Adam and the firm do is they balance the legal outcomes and covering off the legal risks with a successful transaction and one that achieves the goals that we're hoping for. Well, I have a number of really good comparables because in my daily work I interface with a number of the largest firms in Manhattan, global firms with worldwide practices in structured finance. And I think one of the interesting things is, I would say, Adam's firm plays way above the rim. We're talking about firms with multiple thousands of attorneys that we deal with on a daily basis. And what I will say is Adam Leitman Bailey, PC, is a firm that I think would do work on a par with any of those firms, both from a professionalism perspective and from a business perspective. Well, I think one of the most impressive things is that Adam makes himself available to his clients 24/7. And when you're in the business of selling advice and your time, it's very important that you're accessible. And Adam returns calls promptly. His attorneys return calls promptly. He's always accessible, and if there's a problem or if there's a question, gets back to us very quickly. Now, when I was a very young lawyer and began my practice, that was one of the first things that the senior partners would teach you is it's important on a regular basis to return the call, even if it was late in the day, just to let the client know that you'd gotten the message and that you were aware of the issue. He does even more than that. He gets back in the same day, oftentimes within a couple of hours of the initial inquiry. That's very comforting, especially when you're in a situation where there's either a challenge or a problem or a transaction that's potentially coming off the rails.